there, my name is Sula Beckin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share and subscribe and ring that little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. And I watched a movie, well not a movie, I watched a video last night, a Blu-ray, which I was really looking forward to. I was excited for it to arrive so I could tell you all about it and give you my review of it. So after watching it, I'm going to say I watched it so you don't have to. I bought it so you don't have to. I am talking about Syl, and the Devil Seeds of Arodor. So this is, you can see, this is a micro-budget production. Doctor Who in the 90s was off the air. And there was a little cottage industry started of doing these micro-productions of using Doctor Who monsters and other Doctor Who things. I think the first one was when Doctor Who was still in the air. That was with Benton and Michael Wisher. It was actually pretty good. I saw it at a con, I remember. I think I bought it. Wartime. I think that was pretty good. But it really kicked in after Doctor Who went off the air. So we had things like the Autumn trilogy. It wasn't trilogy. You had Autumn, then Autumn 2, and Autumn 3. It became the Autumn trilogy. That was by Nick Briggs. And they just got better and better and better as they went along. So the third one was like the first use, I think, of first real use of using computer graphics. I'm thinking CGI. Computer generated imagery in a Doctor Who type thing, and it was like for 10 seconds, less than that. You saw like the big Nestine tentacle go and grab and come up through a church. But again, generally speaking, but those 10 seconds were fantastic. Everybody freaked out. And then, the Autumn trilogies were really good. They're still micro budgeted. Then you had another one called Shakedown, which was the Return of the Sontarans. Again, I really thoroughly enjoyable. It had a redesigned Sontarans in it versus a Ruton. And I think, honestly, it's the best design of Sontarans I've ever seen. Much better than the 2005 series redesign. They're just fantastic. I think they work best. And then you had another one called Downtime, which had the Yeti and the Great Intelligence in it, and the Brigadier, and Brigadier's daughter, played by somebody else. And who else was in it? There was Brigadier, can't remember. Miles Richardson was in it as Captain Cavendish. But again, another really, not as good as Shakedown, but another really strong release. So I was really excited for this because I haven't seen one of these since this was Doctor Who in the 90s because it wasn't, and so this is really, again, micro budgeted. I knew this going in, micro budgeted. So I'm not going to afford it for that because that's what it was. If you never seen any of these things, it's if you go to YouTube and watch the fan-made Star Trek. So Star Trek Continues, Star Trek Phase 2, Star Trek New Voyages. And they're all significantly, and all these Doctor Who ones are significantly lower quality than that. Fine. So, before I get into bad, because there's quite a lot bad about this, let's talk about the good. The good, of course, is I'm going to read his name because I'm going to say it wrong if I don't read it. Nabil Shaban. It's fine. My local chemist, my pharmacy. I think it's called Nabil as well. Should be pronounced Nabil Shaban. Nabil Shaban playing Syl. If you like Syl, pitch perfect. Absolutely pitch perfect. A perfect recreation of it. Written by Philip Martin, who created Syl. He wrote Vengeance on Varos and then Mind Warp. He also wrote the excruciatingly awful, not The Ultimate Foe. What's it called again? It's a really bad story. Mission to Magnus, so which was never made as part of the season 23 that didn't happen, and so they Big Finish did a version of it about 10 years ago, and it's awful. It's just a terrible script. It's so dated horribly. And he also wrote another Syl adventure, The Antidote to Oblivion, which I can't remember. So this is clearly a sequel to Mind Warp, the other Doctor Who story he did with Syl, and Vengeance on Varos. Things them there are name checked. I can't remember Antidote to Oblivion, but I think this is a kind of a direct sequel to that, if I'm right. That was set in like a post-apocalyptic Europe, a Eurozone that had fallen apart, as I recall. But again, it's been quite some years since it came out. And I just got too much going on with Big Finish to catch up and go back and listen to it. So the basic premise of it is Syl is on trial for doing Syl, doing bad Syl-like things. Fine. And before I get into the spoiler part of the review, let's just talk about why I don't like it. It was just very long. You get your value for money. You totally get your value for money. It comes with 4 episodes. I don't know why they did the 4 episodes. They're 25 minutes to 30 minutes long each, making well over a 100-minute drama. Honestly, it would have been a lot better as like a 70-minute drama, maybe 80-minute. It would have, yeah. If I wasn't going to do the review of it today, I would have switched off. It was just, I was like really, really pushing to keep watching it. And then towards the end, it really turned me off because then it went into current day political allegories, with all the subtlety that you can expect of current day political allegories. A lot of like Orange Man bad stuff, and yeah, I wish they would put a warning label on these things saying this has a Orange Man bad. This has a 2019 political allegory, and so people like me who are sick to death of it can just go, no thanks. Because when you don't do that, I feel it's a bait and switch, and I'm just not going to buy anything more from Real Time. I mean, yeah, and I would have done if it hadn't been for that, which only comes in towards the end. This the current day politics, and quite frankly, if you're the sort of person who really is on board with current day politics, yeah, you're the sort of person who like at least once a day thinks to themselves, "Oh my God, Donald Trump's the president." Ah, ah. Yeah, if you have that thought once a day, you'll probably like this. Yeah, but you're also probably the type of person who you can't rely on to financially support a product. Because if you make things for I would say the blue check marks on Twitter, who are constantly obsessed with Donald Trump, like constantly, then the regular audience, you alienate a lot of them. And this new audience of, again, the blue check marks, I think there's only 12 of them, and they're all insane, and none of them want to buy anything. So again, I think if they could just be honest, put a warning label on saying this is a current day political analogy, and nowhere does it mention. Let me see the blurb. An original drama featuring Syl, the ruthless alien entrepreneur from the planet Thoris Beta, played by Nabil Shaban. Syl is worried, very worried, which doesn't keep his reptilian skin in the best condition. Confined to a cold detention cell on the moon, awaiting a deportation hearing for a trial on drug offences on Earth, he faces a death sentence if the application is successful and he's found guilty. And his former employers at the Universal Monetary Fund aren't that pleased either, not at all. As time runs out, friends desert him, still must use his devious, vile, underhanded, ruthless, and amoral business acumen to survive. Can anyone possibly slime his way out of this one? Can he possibly slime his way out of this one? So fine. No, you didn't tell me. You should have frickin' told me. And because of that, I'm not buying any more of your products with Real Time. And I'm recommending that you don't buy them either. Unless if you're really into this current day political crap, then just wait for another month. Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who starting in January 1st. It's going to be full of it. There's going to be non-stop by the way, I just realised what it is I really don't like about Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who, other than the current day political preaching. It's that she's at the same time completely clueless. I don't know what Jodie Whittaker's like. I'm saying this is how they're presenting the Doctor. The Doctor never knows what's going on, but at the same time, she's completely smug and condescending. You can't have both together. You can't have the village idiot being smug and condescending. But that's a going to be review for another time, probably for a month from now. Also starring in this, is Sophie Aldred, Ace, as it looks like a draconian to me. Here, let me see if you can see her. Again, the good parts of this is the makeup. The makeup is, again, not transmittable quality, but pretty darn good. I think, and she looks pretty good in it as a draconian. She convinced it. And there's fine casting. And there's also, see, I'm going to look up his name so I don't get it wrong. Also starring, really don't have his name here, Christopher Ryan. Christopher Ryan, who, no stranger to Doctor Who, played Lord Kiv in Mind Warp, another of the mentors. I think they're called mentors, the Sills race. And he's been playing Sontarans in the new series. So let's move on. And he's working as his defense attorney. So, fine, let me move into spoilers. I'm going to start with mild spoilers first, so this doesn't really ruin anything. You've got another minute before you can turn off, and if you're going to rush out and buy this, which you shouldn't. But another reason why you shouldn't rush out and buy it, I'm going to be giving this away in a giveaway around when Doctor Who comes back. So, you can get a free copy from me, because I am not watching this garbage again. So... it starts off pretty good. Again, by the first episode, I'm into it. I'm intrigued. Seemed about 5 minutes too long, but fine. And it's like, this tiny budget, and they do a lot with that tiny budget that makes it work. By the second episode, it's dragging, and that's when they introduce Christopher Ryan's character, who then, again, spoiler alert, says, "Do you not recognize me? I am Lord Kiv," which just kind of confused me. So they were saying that after he was in Peri's body. So if you haven't seen Mind Warp, spoiler alert for Mind Warp, for 30 years ago, whatever it was, Peri gets her brain taken out, and this guy, Lord Kid's brain, transplanted into her. And then the Time Lords work out to get Brian Blessed's King Yrcanos to kill everyone. And then, so there's no, because there was some kind of crime, I can't even remember. I watched the first episode of the other day, because I got the Blu-ray of it. I didn't get any further. And then it's revealed at the end of Trial of Time Lord that no, that didn't really happen. Peri really went off and married King Yrcanos, and then Big Finish did a number of plays set after that. So that seems to go. So this is I don't understand. This is a different continuity. This is a parallel timeline. I don't understand. But so Christopher Ryan says that his brain's been taken out of Peri and put into this guy, and it doesn't really work. It just looks like you're doing something cheap. You're doing something to get Christopher Ryan in, who is pretty good, by the way. To get Christopher Ryan in, and without having to do special makeup, which I think would have really significantly elevated this production. So you know what they really should have done if they want to say his brain was transplanted? Have him being transplanted into a Sontaran and use the shakedown Sontarans. That way you would have connected it all together, and it would have been more visually interesting, and it wouldn't look like a massive cop-out. Or you could have done him as Lord Kiv, but as he was, it just didn't really work. Okay. So there's this court case going on by the most inept, not defense attorney, what's the attacking attorney called? By the most inept prosecuting attorney in the history of the universe, prosecuting Syl for introducing these deviled seeds of Arodor to Earth, which are incredibly strong narcotics that's destroyed thousands and thousands of the youth of the day. And then at a particularly bad scene, I think in the third part, they wheel in this person who's a son. Terrible acting. It was a complete flat direction, completely unconvincing, and had little impact. By that time, I'm begging for it to be over. Then towards the third part, you have this weird quasi-sex scene with Sophie Aldred and Nabil Shabazz with Syl and this draconian Lady Nun, I think she's called, where she's like moistening his body, and he looks very much like he's having much sexual gratification from it. It's just really quite strange. And then you have this soliloquy, this monologue that Syl does for over 10 minutes, and it goes on and on and on and on. And again, if you're into seeing Syl return and seeing Syl be Syl again. They would have been better doing it as an app than this drama, because it doesn't work. Anyway, so when we get to the final part, then we get into the Orange Mad Bad allegory, and oh god, it's so stupid. So Syl is looks like he's going to be sent to Earth for a trial, and says, "No, you can't try me, because you know what? I'm going to become president." Really, yeah, and I'm going to misuse my office, so you can't try me. Now, it's Philip Martin. Philip Martin? It's written by Philip Martin. He may not be like a Trump obsessed weirdo. He may just be talking about the current day interesting things going on. He wants to reflect it. Such a bad idea, because so much of our entertainment is just taken up with this. And look, I don't care if you're pro, you're anti, whatever. Why can't we not talk about it? That's really the real shame about this. I think the title of this video is going to be an 80s Doctor Who villain in a 19th style microdrama filled to the brim with current day political allegory. And it's so boring. It's so insanely boring. This whole idea that that Trump is this pure evil guy who, I wouldn't say this is very 2019. This is actually 2018, because they have to explain how Syl's platform is going to be really successful. Because in 2018, that's when all these people who are like, they keep walking around, Trump, 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 Trump. That's all they think about all day. I mean, again, if you think about it more than once a day, you have a problem. So in 2018, they were all freaked out because the world didn't end the way they said it was going to. These relentless disasters, and he didn't start nuclear war. He didn't destroy the economy. Actually, things got a lot better for most people. Again, wherever you are, objectively, just looking at the metrics, things got a lot better for a lot of people on a lot of different levels. It could have been good if you just didn't do the. I was willing to put up with everything until you got the Orange Mad Bad allegory, and then it was like, really, no. There was just Imagine each negative thing another weight on the scale. Boink, 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 another weight on the scale, and that was just one. Boom, push me over the edge. This is an avoid. This is an anti-recommend. Whatever the anti-recommend is, this is an avoid. Don't give me your money. Again, unless you're really into current day political allegories, because then you're going to see past all the other faults. And it's a shame, because there are things worthwhile. It's fun watching. It was fun watching this drama for the beginning. I liked the whole it was nostalgic for me. It felt like going back to the 90s. Should have been shorter, shouldn't have the current day analogies. But other than that, it's still an avoid. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Sheila Beck, and the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop, and let me know what you think. And have a great day. Bye.